now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the participants for Game 1 for the visiting team, the University of Memphis. Head coach in her 6th season, Natalie Poole. Associate head coach, Andy Lott. Assistant coach, Ellen Renfro-Reeves. And volunteer assistant coach, Daniel Stockton. And now the reserve players for Memphis. 00, Katie Sprigness. Number 2, Christian Novak. Number 3, Callie Irvin. Number 13, Sarah Ann Davidson. Number 15, Jessie Lamb. Number 16, Ashton Graves. Number 18, Rebecca Melton. Number 20, Bailey Wisher. Number 26, Yomara Santiago. And number 44, Tori Harris. And now the Tigers starting lineup. Leading off, a junior shortstop from Yuma, Louisiana, number 1, Tyler Trosclair. Batting second, a junior right fielder from Colleyville, Tennessee, number 6, Addison Maxwell. Batting third, a senior center fielder from Yuma, Louisiana, number 8, Lindsey Crowder. Batting fourth, a sophomore and a designated player from Lakewood, California, number 33, Tyler Johnson. Batting fifth, a senior first baseman from Kingston, Tennessee, number 21, Lindsey Sicrod. Batting sixth, a sophomore catcher from Georgetown, Indiana, number 11, Reagan Adley. Batting seventh, a freshman third baseman from Louisville, Kentucky, number 12, Aaron Parker. Batting eighth, a junior second baseman from Monroe, Louisiana, number 23, Brooke Lee. Batting ninth, a senior left fielder from Ashland, Mississippi, number 7, Hannah Harrell. And on the mound for Memphis with a record of 10-12, a junior from Yamahill, Oregon, number 9, Molly Smith. And now for the introductions of the home team, the University of South Florida. Head coach in his 21st season, Ken Erickson. Assistant coach, Wally King. Assistant coach, Jessica Moore. Volunteer assistant coach, Avon Meacham. Graduate manager, Laura Richie Ordoni. And director of operations, Valerie Ariosa. And now the reserve players for USF. Number 11, Susan Wasaki. Number 13, Kelsey Lay. Number 14, Cassidy Boyle. Number 15, Kenya Yancey. Number 16, Samantha Lashinsky. Number 23, Brooke Hartman. Number 33, Brittany Rayfield. Number 88, Kaylin McGill. And number 99, Cheyenne Higgins. And now the whole starting lineup. Leading off, a senior left fielder from Plant City, Florida, number 1, Christian Wyckoff. Batting second, a freshman right fielder from Shanksville, Pennsylvania, number 4, Anna Marie Bruni. Batting third, a junior center fielder from Guilford, Connecticut, number 41, Ashton Donovan. Batting fourth, a freshman first baseman from Bradenton, Florida, number 3, Bethany Keene. Batting fifth, a junior shortstop from Land O'Lakes, Florida, number 10, Lauren Evans. Batting sixth, a senior and a designated player from Fredericksville, Virginia, number 8, Cassie Muller. Batting seventh, a sophomore third baseman from Oviedo, Florida, number 44, Sam Worrell. Batting eighth, a sophomore second baseman from Jacksonville, Florida, number 24, Lindsey Devin. Batting ninth, a junior catcher from Reno, Nevada, number 29, Morgan Gross. And on the mound for the Bulls with a record of 10-6, a junior from Altoona, Iowa, number 32, Hannah Parker. The umpire for today's first game, behind the plate, James Connors. At first base, Chelsea Clark. And at third base, Brad Newton. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats and join us in honoring America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
Day 2 of the American Conference Softball Championships. I'm Jeff Private alongside Eric Lopez. As we get set, Eric, for Day 2, it did really intervene of the quarterfinals yesterday. We saw a low seed in East Carolina win, and then in the second game, it was a top seed in Houston taking care of business.
Yeah, they played at the high level, which sets up a tremendous semifinal later today between them with the chance to go to the final. But right now, we got Memphis and USF. They're trying to get to the semifinal.
It's the 4-5 game, USF and the Memphis Tigers, the 4-5 seed, and then we'll have a second game later this afternoon. So 2 games today. We take a look at a very speedy Memphis ball club, and then a team in USF that's used to getting at-large bids. They may have to get to the championship to get in that at-large discussion.
There's no question about that for the Bulls. They got to get back to the championship game to give in consideration to get an at-large for the NCAA. But they're thinking about winning the tournament. They're not thinking about getting an at-large. They're thinking about today against the Memphis team. And it's going to be Hannah Parker that's going to be a big factor for the Bulls. Can she control those Memphis offensive players, those left-handed hitters like Trosclair and Crowdis will be a big factor in today's ball game.
So the Tigers and the Bulls getting set for action here this morning. And again, it's a beautiful morning. We're starting early, trying to stay away from potential bad weather. It's worked out quite well. The American did a nice job to move these games up, and we are underway. The Tigers in the baby blue tops and the black pants. The Bulls are going to be in their green tops and white pants here this morning from the ECU softball complex. Quickly, a 1-0. It's going to be up high. This is Connor Trosclair, the shortstop for the Memphis Tigers. .395 on the season, no homers. She has driven in 14 on the season. As Parker brings it high, and she shoots it down the third base line, put it right past Worrell at third base, snuck it in. So a leadoff single for Trosclair. And Eric, here is where Memphis excels this season. Just get on base, find a way to get on first. 120 stolen bases on the season for the Tigers.
That's their game. They go fast, they play aggressive. And these two teams played back on the weekend of April 21st through the 23rd in Tampa. And Hannah Parker and the Bulls pitching staff really kept Trosclair off the base pads, and that was a big factor in the USF sweep.
Foul straight down as Trosclair on first of 31 stolen bases as the Memphis lineup. Pretty potent speed-wise as Trosclair, the shortstop, already on a base. And Lindsey Crowdis in that 3 spot, the center fielder. .455, the co-player of the year. And here's the 0-1. Tried to lay down the bunt again and fouled it off.
Parker started 2 of those 3 games against Memphis earlier this year and came in relief in the other game that she didn't start. And it's no secret. The key that from the Bulls' perspective is they're Trosclair, you got Crowdis, Maxwell, they're all left-handed hitters. That's all lefty-lefty matchup.
Parker this year, 10-6 in the circle, a 2.72 ERA. That one is capped foul off to the left side. 42 outings, 16 starts, a couple of complete games. Parker, 123 and 2/3 of an inning, 58 walks, 90 strikeouts on the season. Oh-2. Maxwell trying to stay alive. A little change up that time and struck her out. There's one away.
And a good pitch by Parker. She's able to change her speed. She could go off speed. She could throw hard. And that's where she's had success in the conference. Watch right here. Nice off-speed pitch. And look at that. Maxwell just committed already. Way in advance on that.
Here is Lindsey Crowdis. .455 on the year, 4 doubles, 28 driven in on the season. Going to run her at first and 1 out, just underway here. Day 2 of the American Conference Championships. And Lindsey Crowdis, what a season at .455 on the year. Outside, there goes the runner. The throw is going to be just a bit off, and so Trosclair will steal her 32nd base of the year. And all of a sudden, here you go, your co-player of the year with a runner in scoring position.
Not a better, you could not have asked for a better start if you're Natalie Poole in Memphis. This is exactly what you're looking for. Great jump by Trosclair. That's her 32nd steal, a wide throw, and now you got your best hitter and your best player at the plate with a runner in scoring position.
2-0, that change up again. She was out in front of it. Crowdis comes from a family full of stick and ball players, whether it's softball or baseball or bomb. Was her high school softball coach. She pitched collegiately at Nicholls State down in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Her brother Josh played shortstop at Delta State, a little bit south of the Memphis area, a Division II powerhouse out of the Gulf South Conference. Now a 3-1 count here to Crowdis.
Right now, Parker having trouble finding the strike zone against Crowdis, being extra careful, although you do have an open base at first, so you wonder if that's maybe being extra careful with Crowdis.
Up high, she sends one into right field. That's going to get down. Here comes Trosclair around third, going to try to score. The throw to the plate, slides around the tag, and Crowdis will go to second on the throw. So the Memphis Tigers out to a quick 1-0 lead on the RBI single by Lindsey Crowdis.
And look at the emotion on Crowdis at second base. You don't think Memphis is fired up for this game? A big start for them right here. Crowdis just a pitch that hung there from Parker, and Crowdis made her pay by dropping that ball into right field. Trosclair was easily going to score from that as the throw is not in time. And now Crowdis is standing at second base. This is vintage Memphis softball right now. This is what they excel at, and this is when they're at their best.
Tyler Johnson at the plate, so Crowdis drives at her 29th RBI of the year. The first pitch will be a strike on the inside. Johnson, 292, 4 homers, and 22 driven in this season. Well, the Tigers out to a quick 1-0 lead.
Johnson hitting in the cleanup spot, and that's an important spot, not just because it's a cleanup spot, but because you're hitting behind Crowdis. So you got to believe you're going to get some pitches and with runners in scoring position, because you would think that Crowdis will be pitched around most of the day.
Crowdis not only an excellent hitter at 455, she's still on 32 bases as well. 0-2 though here on Johnson, outside for a 1-2 count. Johnson, a 301 hitter with runners on base this season for the designated player.
What makes Crowdis so dangerous, she's capable of stealing third. Don't be surprised if she tries to do that at some point here.
1-2 up high. She's got a lot better count maybe to run on now at 2-2. That's likely going to eliminate a pitch out.
Yes. And the reason I say that is you still got one out. So if she could steal third with less than 2 outs, now you don't need to get a hit to get a second run in.
2-2, called strike 3. Got her high, and there's 2 away. Second strikeout for Parker.
A lot of off-speed pitches from Parker early on against the Memphis hitters, trying to keep them off balance there. And she gets a big strikeout there, right there. And I guarantee you Johnson wasn't expecting that pitch in that spot.
Lindsey Stickrod, their first baseman, steps to the plate and fouls it off left side. Stickrod, 283, 8 doubles, a home run, 21 driven in. An All-American coming out of Chattanooga State a couple of seasons ago, last year. Her junior season, the first year, played 57 games and started those 57 for Memphis.
You know, very interesting again today. Kind of a theme that's continuing from yesterday, Jeff. We talked about the pitcher making its conference tournament debut in the American Athletic Conference against a veteran pitcher that's pitched in an American Athletic Conference tournament. We have another case of that here. Hannah Parker, a transfer, this is her debut in the American Athletic Conference tournament, as opposed to Memphis's pitcher, Molly Smith, who has appeared in a conference tournament game. We saw this yesterday with Aaliyah White of UCF, a freshman, making a debut against Lydia Ritchie, who's pitched in 3 tournament games.
Got her on the called strike 3, so back-to-back called strike 3s to end the inning, but the Tigers are on the board. 1 run on a pair of hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We're moving to the bottom of the first inning, and the Tigers out to a 1-0 lead on the American Digital Network.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
A quick 1-0 lead for the Memphis Tigers over the USF Bulls as we move to the bottom half of the first inning. And the Tigers today in the circle are going to go with Molly Smith, Christian Novak, a little bit of little bit of tightness in the back. We may see her later, but Molly Smith going to get the start today.
And Molly Smith has been kind of like a co-number one with Novak. I mentioned in the top of the inning, Molly Smith has appeared in a conference tournament game. That's one of the advantages Natalie Poole has. 2 pitchers that have pitched in conference tournament action here in the American Athletic Conference. So Molly Smith got to get ahead of the hitters. When she lost to USF back on April 22nd, she fell behind hitters a lot. And as a result, she paid the price.
And she'll face a pretty good offensive lineup for the USF Bulls here this morning in Greenville, as it will be Kristen Wyckoff, the left fielder, to stand in. 414, no homers, 8 driven in. Good table center at 414. And again, just the 17 strikeouts on the year, as the first pitch is a called strike. Not just 414, but 490 when she leads off an inning.
And she wore out Memphis pitching when they played back on April 21st or the 23rd. She was on base all weekend long, and that was a big factor in the Bulls getting the sweep.
0-1. Showed bunt a little bit. It's going to be high and away. Evens it up at 1-1. Really nice day to start day 2 of the tournament. Not really much of a breeze out here in Greenville, so nothing to affect it. Sitting a little bit above 70 degrees, so good weather to start things out here. As quickly they want to make sure their signs are straight between Hadley and Smith in the circle. Yesterday, not a ton of wind in the first game that you did. Well, actually, there was the wind in the first game. It was not so much the second game. You saw a couple fly out in that first game between UCF and ECU.
No question with Burrows there and Mike check.
Off speed, went for the bunt, and it's a strike, 1-2.
Of course, Burrows and Mike check don't need the wind to help, though. It would not have mattered, but certainly tremendous power from East Carolina. But you see right now, Molly Smith going off speed early, getting ahead of Wyckoff.
1-2. Popped it up. That's going to get out of play.
This is one of the biggest keys. You got 2 of the best leadoff hitters in this conference with Trosclair and Wyckoff. And which team can keep that leadoff hitter off the base pads the most, I think, will win this game, because they are such threats and they set the tone for everybody else. If they are quiet, it almost shuts down the rest of the lineup. But if they're getting on base, it almost feeds off the rest of the lineup.
1-2. Called strike, 3 on the outside, 1 away. Nice pitch that time by Smith. Now you'll see Anna Marie Bruni coming to the plate, and we'll hear more about some of the injuries later on, but Bruni, you'll notice, wearing a pad at times today, but more on that. Let's go to Haley Outen.
Yeah, Jeff, just a quick note on Anna Marie Bruni, their USF's 2-hole hitter. She dislocated her ring finger on her right hand on Sunday, sliding into third, so just something to keep an eye out to see if this injury impacts her performance today.
Well, Bruni at the plate right now. Maybe going away from that, but as they have had to use it this year, she'll stand in there from the left side. 0-1. Comes up high now, 1-1 count. Bruni, 292, no homers, 11 driven in.
And it was Bruni that hit the walk-off hit in the bottom of the 9th to win that first game of that Memphis series, which was really a big turning point for her. She was hitting in the bottom of the order at that time. Now it's moved up to the 2 spot.
This is just off the plate now, 2-1. So looks for the 2-1 from Smith. Showed bunt, pulled it back, swing, and a miss, now 2-2. And she may have gone away from that. Now, she has her fingers pretty heavily taped today. May have kind of gone away from that protective pad. Obviously easier to move. As you can see, those 2 fingers on that right hand taped up now.
Probably has more control of the bat.
Right.
And more comfortable.
2-2, just off the plate now, a full count for Bruni.
And that's important for a slap hitter, to have control of the bat. I mean, more than even a regular swing.
Harrell in a bit in left field. Crowdus and center, Maxwell and right are about normal. It's 200 to down the lines, 220 to center field here at ECU. And she'll draw the 1-out walk.
Interesting there, Molly Smith going away on Bruni the last couple of pitches, just didn't get it on the corner there, and as a result, Bruni gets a walk.
Here is Aston Donovan, the center fielder, 362. 3 homers, 22 driven in. Bruni at first with 5 stolen bases this year. Now they'll come out. They'll use that pad for Bruni when she runs. So a little bit more comfortable, as you talked about, swinging the bat, but obviously you want to protect it when she comes on to run.
Well, especially when you're sliding, you know, with your hands, that there's more threat there to have contact.
So 1 on and 1 out for Donovan. On the outside, and again, Brody with 5 stolen bases on the season.
And with Donovan, Coach Erickson has got some options here. He could go hit and run. Donovan's the type that could bunt for a hit and go first and second.
1-0. Down and away. Hadley behind the plate for Memphis has thrown out 12 of 57 base stealers this season.
And I like what Hadley's doing here, talking to Molly Smith. Right now, they're trying to go away on the USF hitters, and it's not working. They're just missing away. And now, all of a sudden, Molly Smith's falling behind in the count. And I think it's trying like, hey, let's just get back to pounding that strike zone and make the adjustment. Sometimes, hey, if you're not getting the outside pitch, okay, well, then let's do something different.
So Wyckoff went down looking. Bruni, who was behind in the count, nice plate appearance, came back to draw the base on balls. 2-0. Missed up a little bit high. Looked like she had the ball over the plate, but a bit high the letters that time. And now it's going to be a hitter's count for Donovan. Second team all-conference. Back in 2015, one of 20 players there earned a spot on the junior national USA team. Tried to bunt it, pops it up to the left side, a little bit out of the reach of Hadley. Second year in a row, Donovan's been on the second team all-conference.
Great accomplishment, though, considering what she's had to deal with. And it's been a big part of this team, no question now, hitting in the 3 spot. They're a different team when Aston Donovan is in the lineup.
2-2. Popped it up. That's out of play. So getting a lot of looks from Smith. The USF working the count here.
Good battle here, too. Making Molly Smith work. Such a pivotal. It's so early, but yet it's pivotal because USF's trying to respond after Memphis got that first run. And if you're Molly Smith, you want to kind of keep that momentum on your dugout.
2-2. And a base hit back up the middle. And it'll be first and second as Bruni will stop at second base. So a walk and a single. And USF all of a sudden has something going here in the bottom half of the inning. The tying run had second. The go-ahead run over at first for Bethany Keene in the cleanup spot. 232. 8 doubles. Leads the team with those 8 doubles. 4 homers and 29 driven in.
And you see the Aston Donovan kind of like same thing. Just like Bruni, getting that protective on the hand there. But she really did a good job on that pitch by Molly Smith. It hung and she dropped it into center field. Now you've got tremendous wheels with Bruni and Donovan and the young freshman Keene at the plate. Interesting to see if the Bulls dare to try a double steal here. Maybe see if Keene shows bunt here to try to protect the runners at some point during this at-bat.
Pops it up. Shallow left center field. That's going to be in and out of the glove as Trostler trying to make the catch over the shoulder, and everyone's going to be safe. Harrell was coming in from left. Trostler went out, trying to make the over-the-shoulder catch. Glance off the glove, and now the Bulls with the bases loaded with just 1 out.
It looks like Trostler's going over the shoulder. Just couldn't come up with it. And you got Harrell. Harrell just couldn't get there on time. I don't think this was a communication issue. I think Trostler just couldn't come up. It's a tough play because that's not a routine play. It's an over-the-shoulder catch. So that's one of those things where the ball kind of just dropped in a no-man's land because Harold was not going to be able to get there. So really, Trostler was the only one that had a chance to even come up with that ball.
A little bit of that trouble triangle, usually behind short or behind second base. You can really give everyone trouble. It's going to go down as a base hit. So you've got bases loaded after getting the first out on the called strike 3, a walk and 2 singles, and Lauren Evans, 276, 5 doubles, 17 driven in on the season. And she's looking for a fly ball deep enough to get that run in from third. She's a .429 hitter with the bases loaded. The infield's going to be drawn in. They've got that force out at home plate. Little check swing, and they will get the 5-2, and they'll just take the second out there. The smart play by Hadley not to rush a throw down to first and maybe send it into right field. So they get the second out of the plate, and it's still a 1-0 game. Everyone moves up a base. Donovan at third, Keene to second, Evans at first on the fielder's choice.
And a smart play by Parker. Good throw to home plate, the young third baseman. And that's one of the advantages of having the bases loaded, as strange as it sounds, is you have a force out at every base.
So now Smith, and out away from getting out of the inning. Sandra Moeller, the DP, takes one upstairs. Moeller 235, 6 homers, 22 driven in.
Now all of a sudden Memphis could play back, knowing they just need the out to get out of the inning.
1-0 outside, 2-0, and now Moeller can hunt that fastball ahead 2-0 in the count.
Well, right now Molly Smith not able to find that outside corner. She's trying to find that corner pitch where it's just a little off right now. It's fallen behind. That's where she's gotten in trouble. Got in trouble in Tampa.
2-0, gets a strike there.
That's the pitch right there. That's what she's trying to hit and keep these left-handed hitters and these Bulls hitters kind of to reach.
Long look in here. 2-1. Pops him up at the plate. Hadley calling for it, gives way to Parker, who had a better angle on it. Give credit to Smith. Got in some trouble there. A big jam, but gets out of it. Scoreless. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 3 left on base. We've played 1 inning. The Tigers lead the Bulls 1-0 on the American Digital Network.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
A 1-0 lead for the Memphis Tigers as they move to the top half of the second at the American Conference Softball Championships. It is day 2 of the tournament, and it's going to be 6, 7, and 8. Hadley, Parker, and Lee do up for the Memphis Tigers. First pitch fouled off at third base, so quickly 0-1 on Hadley. The Tigers got that leadoff hit, and then got the steal by Trostclair, the RBI single by Crowdis in the first. The way Memphis scores their runs. They are a hit and a run team, leading the league with now 121 stolen bases.
That is an incredible number.
0-1 and a line drive to first for the out. Hadley hit it off the end of the bat, and there's 1 up and 1 down for Aaron Parker, a 225 hitter, no homers, 4 driven in. A little movement in the USF bullpen early on as Parker will step in.
Not a surprise. There is no tomorrow if you lose this game. You have to treat this like it's your last game of the year, and I don't think Coach Erickson and assistant coach Jessica Moore will leave anything in doubt.
Aaron Parker on the all-rookie team this season. Head of the count, 1-0, comes in, and a liner to second. They had her played in that time, and just barely got it off the hand on depth, was in. So a couple of lineouts to start the top of the second for Brooke Lee, the second baseman, hitting 162, no homers, 5 driven in.
And there's a credit to scouting right there. You were wondering probably if you're watching, wow, why is Devitt playing so in like there? That's why. Against slap hitters, sometimes they want to take away that right side. And it paid off right there. Because if that ball drops, that's a tough play to turn around and throw to first to get the runner out.
Quickly 0-1 here on Brooke Lee. A year ago, Brooke Lee played in 33 games, 22 starts at 171. Drove in 8, hit a pair of home runs back in 2015. The 0-1, and that one just lays foul down the right field line. Quickly out of John Curtis Christian School, played for Jerry Godfrey out of high school, an All-State All-Metro selection and All-District from 2011 to 2014. So nobody on, 2 away, 0-2 on Lee. If she could reach base, that would bring the 9-spot hitter to the plate for Memphis, which would at least set up the top of the order potentially in the third. As you see, Hannah Harrell on deck. 1-2. Comes inside that time now, a 2-2 count.
Trying to go inside there and jam her a little bit. I'm wondering so far, I'm trying to get the vibe on both teams. This is such an early start, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's one of those things where both of these teams probably haven't played this early of a game maybe since early in the year when they were playing in tournaments and during the regular season, either hosting or playing in someone else's tournament. Normally you're playing in 2-3 hours. So from a routine standpoint, that's an interesting adjustment to make with such an early start time.
2-2. Memphis went on the road early this season for a few tournaments, but at one point this year, the Memphis Tigers hosted 3 straight home tournaments. At least in the home tournament, you can schedule yourself away from those early games. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. That's the 4th strikeout, by the way, for Parker. We go to the bottom of the second, still a 1-0 Tiger lead on the American Digital Network.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially Schreitenstal's over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
Over to the bottom of the second inning as Smith in the circle again today for the Memphis Tigers. Got herself in a bit of a jam in the first inning, but she did a nice job to work out of it.
Well, she was able to find the outside corner at the end there to get out of that jam, and that was huge because Memphis had just gotten 1 run in the top half of the first, and she really was in danger of losing that momentum. She got out of it. That's the veteran in her. And we'll see if she settles in now after getting out of that first inning jam. Sometimes some pitchers, in the first inning might be your best chance to get them, and then they settle in after maybe some angst, some nerves, and some adversity in that first inning.
Here is Sam Worrell, the third baseman. 239, 6 homers, 26 driven in. Right-hander digs into the first pitch. Popped it up. That one will get out of play over to the right side. Quickly 0-1 to Worrell, a 4-year letter winner at Haggerty High School. Back in high school, a .447 hitter with 32 home runs in her high school career. Pretty good, solid freshman campaign last year. Appeared in 28 games, started 25. 0-1, a little off speed, missed at the letters, evens it up at 1-1.
It's been scuffling a little bit recently. That's one of the reasons why she's dropped a little bit down in the order, but it has power potential with those 6 home runs tied for the team lead.
Up high again, works ahead of the count at 2-1, a 267 hitter when she leads an inning off. 7, 8, 9 in the order here for the USF Bulls. Bulls this year came in at 32-23. They played well down in Tampa at 21-10. 11 road games at 5-6 and 6-7 in the neutral sites.
The big marquee win was they beat Michigan up in Tampa to come from behind early in February.
2-1. Popped it up left side. Here is Parker. From third, makes a catch, and there's one away. That'll bring up Lindsey Devitt, 238, 4 homers, 17 driven in on the year for the second baseman. So Smith in both innings has retired the leadoff batter.
And that's pivotal because USF offensively, that's when they feed off, and that was a big key in their series sweep over Memphis and Tampa in April.
First pitch will be a strike on the outer half.
And it's really a big key for in both sides of this game. When there's not going to be a lot of power in here, so both teams really get fed off of that leadoff hitter in that inning to get on base because that could really create and open up the playbook from their offense.
0-1 comes inside. She had a hold of that one, but fouled it off deep. That'll get over past the USF bullpen. But a little bit ahead of that one, and she hit it well for hitting it off the lower part of the bat, off the handle. And Devitt's got some pop, 5 doubles, 4 home runs, also 3 triples this year. 16 triples on the season for USF. They've hit 30 home runs as a team and 46 doubles. Comes the 0-2 from Smith. Stayed outside that time. Wasted the pitch. Couldn't get Devitt to chase it.
Of course, they lost some power with the graduation of Leanne Spivey, their all-time leader in home runs, or catcher for 4 years. Was always in that middle of that lineup. They don't have that type of hitter on this lineup, but you're right. They kind of have some of those kind of hitters that can sneak up on you.
1-2 off the end of the bat. Slow roller up the middle. Going to be a close play. Looks like she beats it out. It'll be a single for Devitt.
Now batting for USF.
Nothing really Lee can do on that ball because it was so slow, softly hit that it took forever, and Devitt's got good wheels. Really, Lee did all she could. As you watch right here, on speed, just a little softer. And once it got past Molly Smith, that's when you knew the hit was going to happen, and that's the result.
Morgan Gross, the catcher, 2-11 with a homer, 11 driven in. Devitt over at first with 5 stolen bases on the year. Turn shows bunt, pops it into the net. So a quick 0-1 count here on Morgan Gross.
And you might say, well, why are you bunting there with 1 out and a runner in first? Well, first of all, it could be to have the defense come in, and he just happened to foul it off. But the other thing is, you've got your best hitter on deck in Wyckoff. So why not try to bunt, get the runner in scoring position with your best hitter coming to the plate?
I would take a chance for a 2-out base hit with Wyckoff.
Yep.
0-1, turns again, pops it up, fouls it straight back, and now down 0-2 in the count.
And that's one of the differences for the casual viewers that are tuning in that maybe aren't as familiar with softball and comparison to baseball. Softball, there's a lot more strategy, small ball as far as the bunt play, whereas baseball, as you know, Jeff, they don't really go to the bunt as much anymore, especially with 1 out. I don't think you would ever see a bunt with 1 out in baseball.
Very rare. 0-2 comes up and in and misses for a ball. So many more moving parts, especially when you're talking about the bases being 60 feet apart. So many more things that can happen on a bunt. So Worrell popped up the third. Devitt whooped the single, and Gross at the plate. Now 1-2. 1-0 Tigers, bottom of the second. Called strike 3 on the outside. That's going to be the second strikeout now for Smith.
And both strikeouts have come from that outside pitch, hitting that outside corner. That is the key pitch for Molly Smith today, right there. Gets the corner of the plate and gets the strikeout call for the second out of the inning.
Back to the top of the order, Kristen Wyckoff struck out looking an inning ago to lead it off for USF. 4-10 for the left fielder, 345 hitter with 2 outs in an inning. They'll be in at the corners. First pitch, look at the outside strike that time. Smith, Eric, looks like she's starting to find out where the limitations are going to be on the outer half of the strike zone.
And that's what usually the first couple innings is all about, is trying to figure out where the strike zone is and what spots you have to hit.
0-1. The strike again, off speed and quickly ahead 0-2.
A lot of times, too, is you got to figure out as a pitcher what pitches are working for you that day and what pitches aren't working. Some days, maybe your best pitch isn't working, so you got to go to another secondary pitch.
See if she wants to waste the 0-2. She will. Outside runner goes. Here's the throw, not in time, as Devitt will pick up her 6th stolen base.
Not a bad play because there's no real big risks there. If Devitt gets thrown out, no big deal. Wyckoff then will just lead off the bottom of the third. but she got a good jump there and gets an easy steal. And now, as a result of that, she's in scoring position for Wyckoff.
And Ken Erickson probably recognizing, look, she's going off speed a lot. You got a little bit better chance. Let's take a risk here. 1-2, grounded to short. Trostclair to first, and that will end the inning. So we have played 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a runner left on base. The Tigers lead at 1-0 on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
It'll be 9-1-2. Harold, Trostclair, Maxwell, and maybe Lindsey Crowdis this inning. And with more on Trostclair and Crowdis, let's head down to Haley Alton.
Well, Lindsey Crowdis and Kyler Trostclair have certainly left their mark in the Memphis record books this season, becoming the first 2 players in Memphis history to ever make the all-conference team in the same season. Lindsey Crowdis was named the co-player of the year this year in the American Conference. And Crowdis has led the Tigers this season with a .455 batting average, which is the first time in program history a player has hit over 400 in a season. She's also shattered the single-season hits record. And for Kyler Trostclair, first-team all-conference honors and was the 2015 Conference Rookie of the Year. She earned her first ever all-conference team nod this season after a career-best .395 batting average this season, and she's stolen 32 bases, 65 in her career, making her the all-time leader at Memphis, and she had one today. So 2 players that are certainly stepping up big for Memphis this year, and they'll hope for some more from them today here in the conference tournament.
A lot of the reason for that success this year at 28-26 is Hannah Harrell. Down to the count 1-2. The left fielder 230, no homers and 3 driven in. Harrell grounds it at second, bobbled a little bit by Devitt, trying to recover and couldn't get it over in time. So Harrell slaps it to the right side. They were playing in again this time, but Devitt, that got to her real quick.
And this is where speed will put pressure on your defense. Why? You put the ball in play, your defense is acting quicker than maybe they should. Right here, the ball, now it's bobbled. Now you're trying to quickly throw it, but you don't have a grip of the ball, and by the time you do, Harrell beats it out. And that's a result of knowing that the hitter at the plate is very fast. And as a result, as a defensive player, you're trying to act quicker before you even have the ball.
This one bunted foul, so Harrell reaches on the E4. Actually, they call a fielding error on Keene at first. It'll go down as E3.
Well, she was the one that fielded coming in, and
right.
Once she bobbled that ball, you could tell she was trying to quickly grab the ball and throw quickly, but she didn't have a grip of the ball. And that's a result of the pressure that Memphis can put on you.
The bunt down, it's going to be foul. Well, she dropped the bat, and I believe the bat hit it a second time. And that's where the out's going to come from. And wasn't able to kind of hang on to it and drop it on the foul line. Natalie Poole wants a quick.
Well, let's take a look at it right here. Let's see. Ooh.
There it was.
Yep. And that's a big break for USF, and bad break for Memphis. Trostclair trying to get that bunt down to get at least maybe 2 on and nobody out. Instead, you got a runner at first and 1 out.
Boy, that's one of those deals. If it doesn't have the backspin, it rolls forward. There's no issue. That backspin, and it just rolled right over the bat. So there's 1 away, and Harrell still at first. Strike call on the outside, evens it up at 1-1 here to Addison Maxwell, the right fielder, who struck out back in the first. Now hitting .322 on the year, no homers, 24 driven in.
And if you're Hannah Parker, you've got to be aggressive here against Maxwell, knowing that Crowdis is on deck.
Now with a slap foul on the left side.
And Jeff, you and I talked off the air about Crowdis, for example, and even Trosclair, maybe two of the best players that have worn a Memphis jersey. Certainly when I think of Memphis softball, you think pitching with Jenna Kubish, who pitched there about a decade ago. Carly Hummel was fantastic, but offensively wise.
There's a roller to second. Devitt quickly underhands it over to first, and there's two away on the ground out. Harrell will advance to second. So a two-out opportunity for Lindsey Crowdis, who Haley just told us about. An RBI single back in the first inning, so now Crowdis a chance for the two-out RBI.
And talking about the best offensive players in program history, I think she's the best one. And I've followed Memphis softball for over a decade. I think she's the best all-around player, maybe arguably in Tiger softball history, because she could do it all. Great defensive player. And the average, you see Coach Erickson coming out to talk to the team. And I think part of this is strategy here. Here's the question. You've got an open base at first and a runner at second with two outs. You had Crowdis already beat you with an RBI hit in the first inning. Do you pitch to Crowdis here? Or if you do, you got to be extra careful. Don't give in. You don't have to serve one up. Maybe throw kind of an unintentional walk, if you will. Maybe get something where she can make herself out. But if not, it's not the end of the world because you can just have the open base at first.
Saw it a couple of times yesterday, and Johnson on deck struck out looking back in the first. So we'll see how they attack Crowdis.
Yeah, they're going to put her on, and I don't blame them. There's always that one hitter on each team that coaches will circle and say, we don't want this one to beat us. And there's no question that's Crowdis for Memphis.
Wow, that one was on the outside. It went in and out of the glove of Gross, so that's going to advance Harrell over to third base. Outside that time, now 3-0. So she gets her intentional walk. It's going to be first and third for the Tigers. And we'll see what Tyler Johnson can do. Came into the game at .292 with 8 doubles.
And that was a significant play there on that pass ball, if they call it that, with the runner at third. And they're going to make a pitching change because now Memphis might consider running Crowdis and put some pressure on USF to maybe draw a throw to second and maybe steal that run from third coming home. But whoever it's not going to be against Hannah Parker.
Official ruling is a pass ball that Harrell went to third on as it just glanced. It wasn't a bad throw, just in and out of the glove of Gross. And so USF heading to the bullpen. It'll be Eggins coming out to throw here. In relief early on in this ball game, not going to take any chances here. Again, it's pretty much do or die for both of these teams.
Cheyenne Eggins, first team all-conference this season. In fact, arguably her best game in conference this season came against Memphis. It was a game that was on the American Digital Network, Jeff. I had the chance to call that game with Allison Kyman. She went 6+ innings in that game of shutout ball. She got into the 6th inning, got into a little trouble, and then Hannah Parker came in relief in the 6th to get out of that jam. But she got the win in that one in that April 22nd. So she had tremendous stuff, kept the Memphis hitters off balance all game long, and now she's going to be asked here to kind of get Johnson out. Righty versus righty matchup also playing a factor here, I think, and trying to keep just a one-run deficit for USF, which right now maybe is playing a little bit on their heels a little bit. I think Memphis clearly is on the attack mode, and maybe USF playing a little bit on their heels.
Eggins 9-6, 34 outings, 14 starts, a 1.82 ERA. She is second on the team with 4 saves this year. 20 walks and 44 strikeouts, a 92 1/3 of an inning for Eggins.
Curious to see if Crowdis takes off here.
First pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball on the outer half. Crowdis, again this year, 32 stolen bases.
And the reason you would consider that is you would force USF to make a decision. Does USF decide to throw to second and get Crowdis out? Or do they just hold on to the ball? And if they hold on to the ball, now you got 2 runners in scoring position.
0-1, strike call on the inside, so she goes inside now, and a strike away from getting out of this jam.
And that'll take out now the chances of Crowdis running. You don't want to distract Johnson with 2 strikes, who's going to be now protecting the plate.
(0-2) from Eggins. Off speed, just down and away. Not a bad waste pitch, not a bad setup pitch that time for Eggins.
Absolutely not. See if Johnson gets to chase one outside the strike zone. ahead of the count, he could kind of widen the zone.
She may come back with that same pitch. 1-2. Now she runs it inside, popped it up. Worrell in foul territory. Great over-the-shoulder catch. Diving, and that will end the inning. So Eggins comes in and gets the job done. The Tigers threatened, but come away empty-handed. No runs, no hits. There was an error, 2 left on base. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0. Memphis Tigers on the nice out that time by Parker to end the inning. This is the American Digital Network.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, to solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
The Tulsa Golden Hurricane, your regular season champ, number 1 overall seed, waiting to play the winner of this game tomorrow at 1 Eastern and noon Central, a game here on the American Digital Network. And it must seem like almost a vacation, Eric, because they were still going to play on Friday to start out the semifinals, but with the tournament now starting yesterday, it seems like, boy, you've been waiting for a while, even though you really haven't. They probably came in last night, had a little bit of a practice. They were going to come watch this game anyway.
Well, and they have the bye. As a result of winning the regular season championship, they were going to get the bye and not have to play till Friday. It's just kind of different how it's played out. You're right. They probably flew in yesterday, and now they get a chance to scout this game and see who they'll play. Tulsa this year swept USF in Tampa to open conference play. Took 2 out of 3 from Memphis in Tulsa. So if you're wondering about how the two teams compared, and Memphis beat them with Novak throwing a shutout against Tulsa. But certainly Tulsa, John Barfield, fantastic job winning the coaching staff of the year. Emily Watson, the pitcher of the year, is a force and really shut down both Memphis and USF like she did almost everybody in the league. So that will be the challenge for whoever wins this game, facing Tulsa, who's going to be rested, well rested, and ready to go.
Anna Marie Bruni, the right fielder, walked back in the first. Ended up being forced out at the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. So a nice job by Smith, again, who got in 1 out, bases loaded jam in the first, worked out of it, that allowed a 1 out single an inning ago, and is starting again to find that strike zone, especially on our outside pitches to the left-handers.
That's the key pitch for her if she's going to be successful today. So far, she's gotten it in the first 2 innings.
That shows the bunt, gets a strike, 0-1.
There it is again. If she can hit that spot, she's going to have success. She didn't do that when she faced USF back on April 22nd.
Strike 2 taken on the outer half by Bruni.
And I'm sure her and the pitching coach, Ellen Renfro-Reed, second-year pitching coach, a former Tennessee great All-American, led the Volunteers to the Women's College World Series. That's the game plan against these Bulls hitters.
0-2, reaches out, stays alive, but she fouls it back.
And I think Coach Renfro-Reed has made an impact on this pitching staff for Memphis. With Novak and Molly Smith and Brignac, much improved pitching from Memphis this season, which really gives them a chance in this tournament to have a lot of options here.
Up and out, 1-2. You've got 2, 3, and 4. Challenging inning here for Smith and Bruni, Donovan, and Keene. This trio is the trio that set up that bases loaded situation back in the first. Swing and a miss, got on the off speed, 1 away. Third strikeout for Smith.
And she's doing a nice job mixing up the speeds. We're talking about how she's trying to hit the outside corner. Well, here, that sets up this off-speed pitch that goes upstairs that Bruni can't lay off. And again, getting the leadoff hitter out in the start the inning. Bruni's basically a de facto leadoff hitter. She could hit leadoff probably, and probably will in the future, with maybe a consideration to lead off next year with Wyckoff graduating.
First pitch fouled off on the bunt attempt. Donovan now 367 this year, 3 homers, 22 driven, and she singled back in the first inning.
And the reason that's such a pivotal to get that leadoff hitter out, now Donovan's hitting with no one on.
Popped it up into left center field. And Harrell will take it from left, and there's 2 away.
Now batting for USF, number 3.
Smith once says one of her quicker outs, I believe, with 2 pitch out that time.
And big, too, to keep Donovan there under control and keep her off the base pads. So far, Wyckoff and Donovan, they're such a big part of this offense. They really had a lot of success against Memphis in the regular season. Have been quiet so far here. Molly Smith doing a tremendous job keeping those off the base pads.
Bethany King singled in the first. That was that little pop-up in that trouble triangle behind Trosclair. The Trosclair nearly came up with the nice over-the-shoulder catch.
Don't you feel like Molly Smith is a lot more comfortable after that first inning, had that adversity, got out of it? And I think that sometimes that, again, now she's comfortable, she's settling into the game.
Just got frustrated, as you mentioned, not being able to get that inside strike. It's a little combination of finding out how far it was going to be outside today and then working the ball back in. 1-1 to Bethany Keene, who is 1 for 1 today, 237 on the season for Keene. One from Smith, popped it foul behind the plate.
Keene really a bright future, made the all-rookie team this season. It's going to be on the U.S. Junior National team this summer. Really coming on, and now to the point where they're got her comfortable hitting cleanups. Had a good conference season.
Off speed, gets it a 1 to right field. Back toward the track and hauling it in as Maxwell had a little carry on that one, gave it a ride, but flies out to the track in a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played 3 complete, and the Tigers lead the Bulls 1-0 on the American Digital Network.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same. To blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience. To create, solve, build. To explore and express. To lead. Because an education isn't something you get. It's something you do.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Welcome back. We're here on the American Digital Network. It's quarterfinal action as the Memphis Tigers are up 1-0 over USF. And to say USF has been bitten by the injury bug this season is an understatement. We talked about Anna Marie Bruni earlier in the broadcast having dislocated her finger on Sunday. But for Kristen Wyckoff, it's been pretty remarkable, her turnaround this season. She has 7 screws in her left hand. This injury happened to her after sliding headfirst into first base. She was out for 17 games in the month of March and battled her way back to earning first-team all-conference honors, and for Aston Donovan as well, a second-team all-conference selection. She didn't have to have surgery on her hand, but she was able to heal on her own, and she injured her hand attempting to get a bunt down, and pretty interestingly enough, she wasn't able to.
Ground ball to third and whirl over to first in time for the first out. Back to you, Haley.
Yeah, interesting for Donovan. So she went to go lay down a bunt, didn't get it on the first attempt. She actually injured her hand, ended up shaking it off and coming back, laying down the bunt, and she ended up scoring, but then later found out unfortunate news about her hand, missed 11 games in mid-February, but has worked her way back. And Jeff, as you were mentioning earlier, the 1, 2, 3 hitters for USF, they're all wearing some sort of hand protection, some gear. What did we call it, a green flipper?
Yeah, that's what the USF SID told us. It's call it the flipper or the oven mitt, kind of what they're using for protection. Reagan Hadley lined out the first into second. So a 1-0 Tiger lead here in the top half of the fourth inning. Nobody on and one away. Leaves it up and out.
Hadley's had a great year. Second team all-conference she made. Behind the plate.
Two now from Eggins, the relief pitcher. There is a fly ball going to fall in, so a single up the middle for Hadley.
She got ahead there, 2-0 count. Eggins fell behind her, and Hadley got a pitch she can handle and dropped it into center field for a hit, and it's one of the reasons why she's a second-team all-conference player. Look at that, put the ball in play, got a good pitch to handle, and dropped it into center field for a 1-out single.
Parker, the starter, by the way, today for USF, 2 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts before Eggins came in relief. So Hadley at first, and Parker lined out the second at the plate, and I'm not sure if she stepped on the plate.
Well, she's ruled out. She's ruled out. You wonder if it was one of those out of the box, and Natalie Pohl's going to want to know why she is out.
Now, may have stepped on. We'll see.
Here's the replay. Didn't really see anything there that would have warranted that call.
Clearly did not step on the plate, but the batter is ruled out.
Now batting for Memphis, number 23, Brooke Lee.
2 away in the inning with the runner at first.
And that's a big call because, again, now the runner stays at first base with 2 outs.
So now it'll be up to Brooke Lee, 160 hitter to keep the inning alive. And again, if she can get on, you bring Harrell to the plate, so you'll rotate that top of the order back up, potentially in the 5th. First pitch, strike call on the inside to Leo, 0-1. So a 1-out single by Reagan Hadley. She's still down there now with 2 away in the inning.
Hadley 4 for 4 on the year in steals.
That one will miss in. Even up now at 1-1.
What's impressive about the Memphis lineup, everyone in the lineup has at least a steal. You don't see that often. Everybody. Even Lee, 1 for 1 this year in steals. Stickrod, 2 for 3. Anybody can run at any moment.
1-1 and fouls it off the handle. And you get 5 of double digits if you look at Drosler, Maxwell, Crowdis, Parker, and Harrell.
Speed at the top, speed at the bottom.
1-2. Huggins trying to get out of the inning, get her Bulls back on offense, and she does. Gets her to chase one up and out for the strikeout. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, a runner left on base. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning here at ECU. The Tigers lead the Bulls in the softball championships 1-0 on the American Digital Network.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially Schreitenthal's over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
Beautiful complex here, the ECU softball complex on the campus, and they've done a really nice job here. Their athletic facilities, you take a look at the last decade with softball, Clark LeClaire Stadium, the baseball stadium that's located behind the first base grandstands here. Dowdy Ficklin, massive renovations, a renovation of Minji's Coliseum, track and field, soccer, big upgrades over the last 10 years here on the campus of ECU.
No question about it. We talked about it in yesterday's telecast of the East Carolina UCF game and the commitment that East Carolina has put into athletics. Really, big credit to Terry Holland when he was the athletic director here. Really had that vision to kind of get these facilities upgraded for revenue and to help the other teams compete for championships and host championships like this one.
Helped them move up to Conference USA. I guess that's been about 20 years ago, and then the formation of the American and then Invite. And they've done an outstanding job here in Greenville. Here is Lauren Evans to lead things off. Fouls it off to the left side. 274, a 4-4 hitter when she leads an inning off.
And certainly, the facilities have helped in encourage success with the baseball program. East Carolina winning the regular season title last year, got to a super regional under Cliff Godwin, the head coach. Softball's had great tradition. They won a conference championship in 2011. They're looking to get back to that.
Strike calling inside now, 0-2.
In fact, in our next game, Houston and East Carolina trying to duplicate what they did in 2011 when they were a 5 seed in the Conference USA tournament, hosting this tournament. They won the automatic bid. They're the 6th seed this year, facing the 2 seed Houston.
0-2, swing and a miss, ran it up and in. It's going to be strikeout number 4 for Smith.
You could tell now she's in a rhythm, Jeff, after that. Getting out of that first inning jam, you see right there, she's having a good time with a smile there. But she's executing her pitches right there. Boom, upstairs on the riser there, and Evans couldn't hold off on that one. Big strikeout to start the inning. And again, since the first inning, the Bulls are unable to get a leadoff runner on.
Ball misses outside. With that strikeout, after Lauren Evans, fielder's choice back in the first inning, has retired 8 of the last 9. Just the Lindsey Devitt one-out single in the second. As you mentioned, in the zone right now. Moeller popped up to third. And that one is fouled off. 1-1.
And she's got experience playing in the conference tournament, the American Athletic Conference. She pitched in relief last year in the opening round game against Houston. So she knows what this is all about.
1-1. That's going to be up high. And a good adjustment, let's face it, as you mentioned. Bo Molly Smith and Novak, kind of the co-number ones. They bounce back and forth. But still, you get to the ballpark and you're told, well, we're going to rotate you into starting off this conference tournament. Comfortable starting and has conference tournament experience, so really not that tough of a transition. But once she settled into the first, she's been lights out.
No question about it. Getting into the rhythm and has gotten ahead of the Bulls hitters, which has forced the Bulls hitters to chase. Maybe more than they would like.
2-2 count here. Nobody on and 1 down. You had mentioned several times the key, keep the leadoff man off base. And right now, USF 0 for 4 in that leadoff spot in this ball game. 3-2, a full count to Moeller.
That's been a big factor. That was the complete opposite back on April 21st to the 23rd when these two teams played. USF seemed to get the leadoff runner on all the time that weekend.
Three-2. Miss on the outside. That'll be the second walk of the day for Smith. So a one-out runner for USF. The tying run, and Sam Worrell popped up to third in the second inning.
Just missed a little bit outside there. Didn't execute that one and gets a walk, and now we'll see what Sam Worrell can do here. This is kind of the power lineup part of the lineup for the Bulls here, with Moeller and Sam both with 6 home runs. So you wonder maybe they're a little extra careful here with these hitters.
And it's deceiving because you look at Worrell at the plate, who takes a strike on the inside, and the first thing you look at, average 238. Okay, let's work through this, but then you look over to the power numbers. 3 doubles, a triple, co-leader with Moeller with 6 home runs on the year. Could quickly make it a 2-1 USF lead. And that wind starting to blow out a little bit here as the morning progresses in Greenville, a little bit past 11 o'clock. As the heat continues to rise here, the wind will pick up as you see the flags going out toward left.
Left field being the key. And we kind of saw that towards the end of the UCF East Carolina game yesterday, where the wind started to pick up and even a little bit towards the Houston, Connecticut game.
1-1, pop-up foul territory. Nice diving effort by Hadley, just out of her reach.
That ball hit no man's land there. But now you're ahead of the count, 1-2 if you're Smith. And a chance to open the zone a little bit against the right-handed hitter here. Maybe throw one outside the strike zone here. Maybe get Sam to swing out of it. Get one to chase.
One, two from Smith. Comes inside and fouls it off the handle. We've come in again. As you mentioned, Eric, now is a good chance to work outside, try to sneak that 1-2 in.
Wonder if that's a setup there. You went inside to try to jam her. Now do you set her up by going away and get her to chase?
Bowler over at first base, 0 for 1 on steals, so no real threat over there. Just above the letters. Well, continuing to work her inside.
Yep. Feels comfortable in jamming the right-handed hitters here, like Sam Worrell here. You got to make sure you jam it. You don't want to miss, because if you miss, she could hit one to left field with the wind blowing out a little bit.
2-2 comes in, pops her up behind home plate. It'll stay 2-2. So really one of the better battles between one of the USF batters and Smith going on right now.
Fouling pitches off. You're in a big moment here. Only a one-run game. You got a runner at first. You're just trying to get some momentum. For Smith, you're trying to figure out, how do I put away this hitter?
Tiger outfield playing deep, showing the respect. That's down and in. That gets away. That's going to advance the runner to second base. And now the tying run in scoring position. So now Worrell, not having to muscle this up, getting a base hit, may tie this ball game up.
Trying to go down there on the dirt, and Hadley unable to block it. And that's big, because you got the runner in score position, a full count. With Devitt on deck, who also has some pop. So all of a sudden, a sneaky threat here. This is a big pitch here in this game right now.
Devitt already with a base hit back in the second. 3-2 from Smith. That one is fouled off. Had it timed up, but a little bit under it.
Trying to go off speed there, but it was timed up well, but just fouled off to stay alive. Big battle here by the sophomore. Staying alive, protecting the plate, making Molly Smith work.
You got to remember, Worrell was down 1-2 in the count. Has fouled off several pitches so far. Long sequence for Smith. 3-2 and gets her. Big battle up there. Usually, if the more you foul off, the advantage goes to the hitter, but this time Smith will win the battle. That'll be her 5th strikeout.
And she went upstairs here. Watch this pitch. Rise that pitch up there, and Sam committed to it and couldn't get it. Big strikeout to get the second out of the inning, but now you got to face Devitt.
Devitt already with a hit.
And it's going to be interesting because you've got Gross, a .211 hitter on deck. He's hit 1 home run. So do you pitch around Devitt with the open base at first?
He'll come at her, up and in, swing and a miss.
An aggressive swing there by Devitt. You can tell she's not going to be cheated. The reason you don't pitch around Devitt is you actually are trying to get Devitt out and have Gross lead off the inning instead of Whitecoff. I think that's part of the strategy as well.
There's probably some dual thinking going on in that Tiger dugout right now. The 0-1 is inside, the throw behind, and it ends up the runner will make it to third. They try to throw behind, but as soon as Hadley committed, Moeller wisely just takes off for a third. And so she'll be just 60 feet away from tying this ball game up. But they're probably thinking both situations. You're late in the game. Early in the game, you think really long term. Well, let's take our chances. We want Gross to lead off the inning, but this late in the game, you need the out right now.
Hadley, I don't know if she had a good grip on that ball or if she was hesitant whether to throw to second or not. Didn't get a clean throw there. And now you got the runner at third.
0-2, and now that one is up high.
And that's significant because a wild pitch, pass ball, will get the run in to tie it up.
You know, she's advanced on a pair of freebies. They'll give her officially, since she took off on the throw, the stolen base, so a wild pitch, but now she stands at third. 1-2, swing and a miss, and Smith gets out of the jam again. Smith now has 6 strikeouts in the game. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. Still a 1-0 Tiger lead as we move to the 5th inning on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
A little past halfway here in Greenville at the ECU softball complex, and a first inning run standing up so far for the Memphis Tigers. And Smith has really been good today, Eric. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts so far through 4 innings.
She's been mixing up her pitches, from the 2nd inning to about the 3rd inning, 4th inning. She was working on the outside corner. In that 4th inning, she got a little bit of trouble. She decided to go more upstairs in the zone to get the Bulls hitters to chase. She's really mixing up her pitches very well. Her repertoire working right now, and is a good pitcher's game here, 1-0.
Meanwhile, Eggins has done a really nice job in relief to kind of settle the game down and keep it a 1-run game. That one's going to be down and in, misses for a ball. Came in with a little bit of trouble in the 3rd when Parker was struggling a little bit with control, getting a couple on base. Retired Johnson got out of a scoreless 4th. That one's going to be a strike called on the outside. Right now, Eggins in relief has gone 1 1/3, just a 1 hit, no walks. He has struck out 1.
And this is an important at-bat here with Harold at the plate, because you got Trosclair, Maxwell, Crowdis coming up.
Bunt to the first base side, and the same result. Reached on the air last time by Keene. This time it's going to be a wide throw by Devitt. So that's the 2nd time in a row she's put pressure on the infield.
We talked about it earlier in the broadcast when she caught a pop-up on a bunt play where she was playing in, and how that is significant, because if that ball drops in the dirt, it's not an easy play, and you'll see it right here. The bunt is executed. Now watch what Devitt has to do. She grabs it, and now sidearms the throw, and it's wide. Good job there, actually, by Keene to get off the base, the base there and get that ball, because if she tries to stay on the base, that ball goes into right field. Memphis has got a runner in scoring position. But that's why you put pressure with the bunt, because that's not an easy play. It looks like it's easy, but it's not.
They show bunt again. It's outside. That's going to be enough for a strike. Trosclair 1 for 2. Singled in the 1st. And remember, was called out when she laid down a bunt in the 3rd, but the ball back spun and made contact with the bat.
And the reason it's not an easy play for Devitt is because you got a fast runner, so you'll have to hurry the throw more than normal.
Strike coming to the outside. Harrell at first, one of the 5 Tigers of double-digit stolen bases.
If that's just a random hitter, average runner, you could take your time and turn the throw to first, but it's a fast runner, you're rushing the throw.
Outside, now 1-2.
Big for Cheyenne to get those 2 strikes right away on Trosclair, because I think it took away any chances of a bunt play. And with Trosclair, it's not a bunt to advance the runner to score position, it's a bunt to try to get a hit.
1-2 for the right-hander. Ground ball, that one's going to get through. They had Evans playing in a little bit, and she shoots it through just to the left of the shortstop. And the Tigers have something going here in the top half of the 5th. An error and a single, and it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And here comes 2, 3, and 4, getting toward the heart of the order.
What a great job by Trosclair. Goes with the pitch and drops it right down the middle. It's an off-speed pitch. Doesn't do too much with it. Finds a hole and gets a hit. And Memphis in business here in the 5th, 1st and 2nd. And I have a feeling we might see Hannah Parker re-enter the game here to face the lefty Maxwell and then Crowdis here. And that's exactly what Coach Erickson's going to do. He's going to want to go lefty-lefty matchup here in this situation with 2 on and nobody out.
So Eggins, as it stands now, 1 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Again, Parker re-entering, already stands at 2 2/3, 2 hits, a run, earned, walk, and 4 strikeouts as she re-warms up in the circle.
This has got to bring back some fond memories for you. You do baseball all the time. This is executed right here, textbook. Go lefty-lefty matchup. And for those that are not familiar, in softball, a pitcher can re-enter. And many times, in fact, he could bring back Cheyenne Eggins if he wants to later on in this game. So you can kind of go back and forth, and Coach Erickson's going to go by the percentages in this big situation. Hannah Parker, we talked about it in the pregame and at the start of the game. Hannah Parker is a big factor and a big weapon to control the Memphis left-handed hitters in this game.
That's absolutely the right move by Ken Erickson, and I think he plays it well, not just here in the tournament, but you've seen him plenty of times in the regular season. It allows you to re-enter, so why not? You've got your top 2 pitchers. Why not go righty-righty, lefty-lefty? You don't have to go to the old thinking of whether the reliever's in and you're done for the day. Why not? You're trying to win ball games. You do what you have to do.
No question about that. And you now make Memphis think about it. But your question, lefty-lefty matchup, trying to control Maxwell. And as you know, in that situation, then Crowdis. I mean, that's the other big fish that you're worried about. In fact, in that April 22nd game, Memphis had a rally similar to this in the 6th inning when it was a 3-0 game. Crowdis came to the plate representing the tie and run, and Coach Erickson called Parker's number to come in relief, and she got Crowdis to pop up to end the inning. And now he's asking her to get out of this jam, facing Maxwell and Crowdis, the 2 lefties coming up.
Shows bunt, fouls it straight down as it spins back. Maxwell 320 on the year, 329 with runners in scoring position. 7 doubles, 24 driven, and 0 for 2 though today. A strikeout and a ground out to second.
And the other reason you bring a lefty to face the lefty hitter, tougher to bunt from a left-handed standpoint against the lefty.
0-1, and there's a base hit in the left field. And the Tigers were going to have the bases loaded, but it's misplayed in left. Here comes the runner sliding ahead on the tag as Harrell will get in. Maxwell had the base hit to left field. And then Wyckoff couldn't pick it up in left, so all of a sudden it's 1st and 3rd, and a 2-0 Memphis lead.
And what you saw there, Maxwell was like, you know what, I'm not going to try to bunt against the lefty. I'm going to hit away and drop that ball into left field. And then a mishandle there defensively. Once that bobble by Wyckoff, Memphis, aggressive in the base pads, gets that run to add to the lead. And that's what speed does, Jeff. What am I talking about? Mentally, Wyckoff is thinking about picking up the ball and throwing quickly before she even has the ball. I guarantee you that's part of what happened there.
Inside and misses. That's going to be frustrating for Ken Erickson because that's the 3rd error committed in the first 4+ innings of this ball game by USF.
Keep in mind, you got Maxwell at first base with 16 steals. I know you got Crowd as your best player at the plate, but wouldn't be surprised if she runs here with the runners at the corners and nobody out and really put pressure on this defense for the Bulls that you mentioned, maybe on their heels a little bit with a couple of miscues defensively here in this inning.
Well, good count to run on now because they've got Maxwell ahead of the count or rather Crowdis ahead of the count 2-0. There's a strike called at the letters, 2-1.
The counter argument, I think, what Natalie Poole is thinking is, I don't want to run Maxwell here because if I run her, that opens up the open base to basically walk Crowdis. So I'm going to give my best player a chance here to drive in this run.
2-1, and that one is a lace foul straight back.
So I think the strategy is let Crowdis hit, and then when Johnson comes to the plate, maybe that's when you think about sending Maxwell if it's still a 1st and 3rd situation.
Johnson hoping Crowdis can come back and draw the walk. Now it's 2-2. So then it would give Johnson a great opportunity. There'll be nowhere to put her. The 2-2. And it's chopped up the middle. Will step on second over to first. Not in time. They'll get the force out, but the run will score. So 4-6 force out. Trosclair comes in to score. Crowdis at first on the fielder's choice. And now the Tigers lead it 3-0.
That's a heck of a play by Devin, first of all, just to get the out. That ball was hit pretty well, chopped up the middle. Devin got to it and touched the bag at second. Watch right here. Ball's hitting up the middle. Devin got a good read. There was no way she was going to get a double play. And there was no way she was going to get the runner at home. And that's a productive out. It's not the result she wanted, but she put the ball in play up the middle and got that 3rd run to score from 3rd. Beautiful execution there.
Here runs batted in, and here's a base hit into left field. The Tiger bats really going now as Johnson singles to left, and it's first and second.
Number 21.
Isn't it amazing how momentum works? You get the lead off. We've talked about it throughout this game, about the leadoff runner getting on. The Bulls have not been able to do that. Memphis did. We talked about Harold getting on to set the tone, and look at how it's fed off on the Memphis hitters, and we're going to have another change, as that's going to be it for Hannah Parker.
Tigers up 3-0 as USF is going to make the switch again. So let's take a timeout again. The Tigers leading it 3-0 in the top of the fifth on the American Digital Network.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
3-0 Memphis here in the top of the fifth. Tigers have first and second and just one out, and it's Susan Wysocki, 2-4 in 30 outings. 2.84 ERA now in the circle for USF. Lindsay Stickrod at the plate. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. The Tiger offense banged out 3 hits here in this inning alone. 6 hits overall today.
Wysocki trying to give Memphis a different look, as Memphis really been targeting on Hannah Parker.
Another base hit out the middle. Let's see if they send Crowdus. They're going to hold her as Donovan got in on it quickly. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. You got Crowdus at third, Johnson at second, Stickrod at first for Reagan Hadley, who had a base hit an inning ago.
Good piece in by right there to get the runner in first into center field, and then bases loaded. And a good job there. I agree with Coach Poole. Don't send Crowdus there. You got all the momentum right now. Bases loaded. Don't get yourself out of the inning. Wysocki, a senior, really's got to get out of this jam to give her team a chance right now. The Bulls are on the ropes.
Infield drawn in. Ball is down and in. That'll miss. 4 ball. 1-0 on Hadley. Hadley, 264 this season. 9 doubles. 3 homers, 24 driven in. Again with 9 doubles, she puts 1 in the alley. Could really open this ball game up. 1-0 is low. 2-0, and now she may take till she gets a strike.
Well, and the problem was Coach Erickson went to Parker to go that lefty-lefty matchup. It's been working for him all year. It didn't work in this inning, and the Tiger hitters were prepared for that. You know they were prepared for that because they saw a heavy dosage of Hannah Parker in the regular season. So you got to believe once they knew they were going to play them in the opening round, they spent a lot of time working it, preparing for Hannah Parker, and it's paid off, the hard work.
2-0 now from Wysocki to Hadley. 3-0, and now Wysocki's got a groove or a strike.
And Wysocki, when she's been in trouble this year, has been lack of control. And we're seeing it here, falling behind with the bases loaded and 1 out. You better believe Hadley's taking it.
38 walks, 39 strikeouts for Wysocki, and there's a strike. 3-1, a hitter's count.
She's got to find a way to get a strikeout, get out of this inning right now. Minimize the damage.
3-1 to Hadley, base hit in the left field, and another run scores for Memphis. So right now, Memphis just kind of playing station to station. That's all they need to do as Reagan Hadley drives in her 25th RBI of the year as Crowdus comes in to score.
And if you haven't seen Memphis softball this year, this is vintage Memphis softball. This is how they get their runs. They don't hit for power, but they put pressure on the opponent's defense and get timely hitting. And we always talk about why it's important to get ahead of the hitters as a pitcher. Wysocki fell behind Hadley, and at a 3-1 pitch, Hadley was aggressive and found the pitch he could handle and dropped it into left field for an RBI hit.
Now the Tigers look like Rebecca Melton is going to pinch hit, a freshman out of Charlotte, Tennessee, and Creekwood High School.
Number 18, Rebecca Melton.
Melton this year at 190. Does have a home run, 7 driven in. It's going to be her 31st game she's had. 15 starts on the season. The right-hander digs in. First pitch high, 1-0. Well, the big thing the Tigers hitters have done this inning, they're getting ahead of the count, so they're being able to be a lot more selective when the pitch counts. Right now, neither Parker nor Wysocki are able to get ahead of the count. There's a strike down the middle, called, and 1-1.
And can't you sense the confidence of the Memphis hitters up at a real high right now? You could just sense it right now. They are feeling very comfortable here.
Swing and a miss. And tailed a little bit outside. Thought that was going to ride in, but tailed off. That was a nice pitch by Wysocki, now 1-2.
I mean, you might be wondering, why is Melton pinch hitting here? You're going for the juggler here if you're Coach Poole. Try to really knock this game out.
That one was a lace just foul at third base.
Because you got bases loaded, 1 out. You're already up 4. You've got a pitcher in Wysocki right now that's trying to find a rhythm here that's coming in relief. You're trying to put the knockout punch here.
One, 2 from Wysocki. Called strike 3 on the outside. Nice pitch. There's 2 away now, and here comes Brooke Lee, the 9th hitter of the inning for the Memphis Tigers.
Number 23, Brooke Lee.
Brooke Lee struck out twice.
Big strikeout there. Watch this corner right there, Jeff. Get that strikeout, and huge to try to stop this momentum and just get out of this inning right now. If you're Wysocki, get this inning over with and get your offense back and try to get something going.
Well, here's the big out you want here, because what really deflates you, 2-out RBI. You're an out away from getting out of the inning. The Tigers put another run or 2 on the board. Because mentally that's crushing. First pitch a strike called in the outer half. It all started out on the air that Hannah Harrell reached on. The 0-1. Ground ball left side at short. Going to be close at first, and she beat it out. Another run scores. Johnson in from third. Stickrod goes at third. Hadley to second. Lee save at first on the hustle play.
Tough play for Lauren Evans, who is not a natural shortstop. She was a first baseman last year, made all conference last year. Had to play shortstop due to injuries. This is a slow grounder. You see right there. By the time she comes up with it, just does a one-hop throw, and that gets another run in.
Lee drives in her 6th run of the year at a 5-0 Memphis advantage.
It looks like we have a pinch runner. Lamb is going to pinch run for Memphis here. Still bases loaded. And Memphis is basically batted around here, Jeff, in this inning. And it all started with Harold. We talked about it when Harold got on base to start this inning. And they're going to actually, looks like they're going to pinch hit for her.
Right.
But nonetheless, when she got on, that's an important at-bat. It may not be highlighted on the box score, but when she got on, that really kind of opened the floodgates in this inning.
Santiago pinch hits, 158. No homers, 2 RBI. It's going to be the 24th of the game. 13 starts for Santiago. Is 6 for 38, 8 walks and 10 strikeouts.
And again, if you're Coach Poole, you're going for the juggler. You got a couple of hitters you trust in the bench here. Try to get the ball into the outfield, get a gapper, maybe get 2-3 more runs and really knock this game out.
Well, all of a sudden, 5-0. She's smelling blood. You get, you pick up another 2-out RBI, a couple of 2-out RBIs, and you'll be looking to finish it up at the bottom of the inning.
There's no question that's part of the thinking. And it's a different look you're giving to a pitcher. You're going from a slap hitter in Harold to a big bat like Santiago.
2-0. That one's inside. 3-0, and Santiago most likely taking all the way. Okay. Then you get into the real big sticks, and Trosclair, Maxwell, and Crowdis. If you don't retire her, and they walk the run in. Bases loaded, RBI walk for Santiago, and that will bring Stickrod in from third.
And that's going to be it for Wysocki. We'll see if he brings McGill. Yep, So we are going to see every Bulls pitcher on staff here today, Jeff. As Coach Erickson is just trying to find some answers right now.
So McGill will be the fourth different pitcher today. Right now the Tigers lead at 6-0, still on the top of the fifth. Bases loaded, 2 outs on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Tiger offense rolling here in the top half of the fifth as Memphis leads USF by a score of 6-0. Bases loaded, 2 out for McGill. And there's a hard hit ball to short over to first in time from Evans, and that will end the inning, but it was a big one for Memphis as they put 5 runs on the board. They did it with 6 hits and a pair of errors, and they'll leave 3 on base. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning here at ECU at the American Softball Championship. Memphis leads USF 6-0 on the American Digital Network.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, to solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
Memphis Tigers with a 6-0 lead. We move to the bottom of the 5th. This wraps up quarterfinal action of the American Championships because our next game is actually going to be semifinal game number 1. That'll be at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. It'll be the 6-seed ECU against the 2-seed Houston, moving the tournament up a day yesterday due to potential weather in the Greenville area. So this game will wrap up the quarterfinal portion. Semifinal game 1 later today, semifinal game 2 tomorrow at 1 Eastern, Tulsa, and the winner of this game, and we'll have a pinch hitter coming up. I believe it'll be Davidson as you see the Cougars out there getting loose behind the right field wall.
Yep, getting ready to go. Houston and East Carolina, a lot of history with those two programs. They've been playing since 2006, and they've played for high stakes, and they'll play for another game at high stakes later today.
So with the Memphis offense rolling, the 6-run lead for Smith here against Davidson, or Kelsey Lay, excuse me. Lay, the left-hander, takes it outside, and it'll miss. 200 hitter on the year, no homers, and 5 driven in. The outfield, straight away, the infield is normal. The 2-0 to Lay. Popped it up. That's going to be tough. Out, and that's going to fall in. Oh, trouble area that time. Troscar was playing in a little bit, made a nice run at it. Crowdus a little bit out of her reach as well. So a bloop single. That's the first leadoff batter to reach today for the Bulls.
Comes in the 5th inning, and hey, why not? That's one of the reasons why Kelsey Lay's number was called. Just get on and try to get something going for the Bulls, and she does that, drops it in there. little blooper to get on and see if that could get the Bulls going. They're going to try and do what Memphis did to them in the top half of the inning. Get on and maybe open up a big inning.
That'll bring Wyckoff to the plate, who is over 2. Struck out looking in the first, grounded to short in the second inning. So 6-0 Memphis, and the Bulls capable of putting some runs on the board. So this game not over by any means.
No, and it was interesting putting pinch hitting for Gross in the 9 spot. Now you go to the top of the order with Wyckoff, your best hitter, and then Bruni and Donovan to follow. So this is the part of the lineup. If you're going to do damage, if you're the Bulls, this is the one to do it.
Popped it up left side. Parker at third makes the catch in foul territory, and there's one away.
I cannot emphasize what a job Molly Smith has done against Wyckoff. Wyckoff crushed Memphis pitching all weekend from April 21st through the 23rd and been shut down today. Magnificent adjustments by Smith today.
She has scattered just 4 hits, 2 walks. She has struck out 6. Here is Anna Marie Bruni, 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. Swing and a miss.
And I like that Smith is being aggressive. She knows she's got a 6-run lead to work with. Sometimes pitchers maybe get too conservative, believe it or not, with a big lead because they're worried about maybe protecting the shutout. Just throw strikes, go after the hitters.
0-1, staying in the attack mode. Bunt to third. Over to first in time. 2 away as Bruni around to Parker.
And they're actually going to bring the runner back as the umpire made a call. Looked like some sort of interference call.
Well, we had that earlier. We had a ball hit the bat. We had another out made on a bunt attempt.
Did she leave the box early?
If it was by just a toe.
Wow. And that's a bad break for the Bulls because instead of a runner at second and 2 outs, you got a runner at first. They bring back late.
So that one's going to be in the dirt. Nice save that time by Halley. So 2 away now, regardless. See to the ground out, but it was called out of the plate on Bruni. Second time we've seen someone in the box get called out of the plate today, and then we had the ball that hit the bat. 1-0 to Donovan. Leaves it outside, 2-0.
Molly Smith, you wonder what's going through her mind. Her and the veteran Memphis Tigers players, they were so close last year against Houston, whereas an out away from advancing.
2-0 and rolls out through the right side for a hit. First and second.
Good piece of hitting by Donovan there. Driving the ball into between first and second and right field for a hit. But if you're Molly Smith and your crowd isn't, they were so close last year in Tulsa. They had Houston. They had control of that game. Novak was pitching well. And Houston burned them in the bottom of the 7th, tying the game up with a home run. In the 7th inning, I should say, in the top of the 7th. Then lost that game to Houston in extras. Lost the year before to Houston in the opening round, trying to get that elusive conference tournament win. You know they want that badly, not just because it extends their season, but just to get a taste of a win in postseason.
I believe, if my memory serves me correct, in 2015 down at UCF when they lost to Houston, that was just a 1-0 ball game. So they've been very, very close. First pitch fouled off by Keene, who's 1 for 2. Singled in the first, flew to right in the third. 235 hitter on the year. 4 homers, 29 driven in.
If you're Molly Smith right now, what you want to do is get some strikes, get this one more out. You don't want to get conservative here and allow the Bulls with a swing or 2 to get back in this game.
Let's remain the aggressor. Here's the 0-1. Fouls it off the end of the bat, now 0-2, and all of a sudden Smith is strike away from getting out of the inning.
And that's what you got to do if you're Molly Smith. The last thing you want to do is fall behind hitters and give free passes. Go after these hitters and make them earn it. Now we'll see what she does here against Keene. Does she go away from the strike zone and try to get her to chase?
The 0-2. Well off the plate that time. The Memphis outfield playing a little deep, trying to guard against a double.
I think we just saw the Memphis bullpen there. You saw Brignac and Novak. Both of them are going to warm up here. Coach Pohl trying to make sure, in case Molly Smith gets in some trouble, you've got some arms available.
1-2. Up and out of the off-speed pitch. 2-2. She stayed away from Keene after getting ahead 0-2.
Try to see if Keene would chase one out of the strike zone. I don't think it's a bad pitch. It's just probably maybe too far away, but sometimes you want to be a little extra careful to make sure that you don't miss your spot.
Two offering. Stays high again. That time Hadley had to kind of leap up on that one. And now she's trying to set her up 3 times, up and out, see if she tries to run it in.
Either that or does she try to go back in the outside corner? She try to get that strike 3 against the lefty Keene. We'll see what she does here.
Got a base open and Lauren Evans on deck.
Well, and I think they want to make sure they're on the same page here. And Hadley's like, let's make sure we're on the same page. We don't want to make a mistake here. And next thing you know, the Bulls are within 3. And Keene has that potential to hit one to left field and get the Bulls right back in the game and change the momentum of this game.
Again, as we talked about earlier, when continuing as the morning will become afternoon here shortly, the wind picks up during the daylight hours. Here's a 3-2 as the heat rises. 3-2, popped it foul, back into the left, out of play.
Good battle for Keene here. Knows that she's right now being protective of the plate, fouling pitches off, just trying to get on base, make something happen here.
Smith toes the rubber, looks into Hadley. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got her for the 7th strikeout of the game for Smith. USF threatened. They come away empty-handed. No runs, a pair of hits, no errors, and 2 left on. We go to the 6th, and it's a 6-0 Tiger lead on the American Digital Network.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones. Not just to learn, but to experience, to create, to solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Well, beautiful morning here in Greenville. And 18 minutes away will be at high noon as the Tigers lead at 6-0 here. In the first of 2 semifinal games. Some defensive changes now for ECU. They're going to move Boyle into short. They'll bump Evans over to third base as the Tigers will send 2, 3, and 4 Maxwell, Crowdis, and Johnson coming up to the plate.
An opportunity for Memphis. We talked about it earlier about Memphis looking for that elusive conference tournament win. The last time, Jeff, that Memphis won a conference tournament game, 2010 in this Conference USA tournament when they upset then number 2 seed Tulsa. Carly Hummel, a phenomenal lefty pitcher, getting the win. Memphis lost in the semifinals that year to UCF. That was a tournament held in Houston. Since then, they haven't won a conference tournament game. In the American Athletic Conference tournament, they lost to USF in Houston 5-3 in 2014. You mentioned earlier at UCF in 2015, they lost out 1-0 pitcher still. And then last year, the game I was at in Tulsa, had the lead in the 7th inning, lost the lead, lost in 10 innings to Houston. It's just some heartbreaking losses. And when you think of the players like Trosclair and Crowdis, who have done so much for this program, these 2 innings are big for them right now. They got the 6-0 lead. You don't want to kind of get the pedal off the gas, if you will. But it's so significant. You could tell right now for those veterans and get an opportunity to play for the semifinals against a team in Tulsa that you've beaten this year, that you know you're capable of competing with. So And that's one of the things about postseason softball and postseason sports in general. It's a new year. Whatever happened a month ago or 3 weeks ago, it's 0-0 right now, and it's a new year and a new opportunity.
Checking the official stats here and then double checking the monitor and everything. What they have actually is Boyle is going to be in the game, but she'll be behind the plate. They'll keep Evans, and at short it'll be Hartman, who is listed at third base now. So the first pitch is low from Miguel, who's going to stay out there. So it looks like we have Boyle behind the plate. Evans stays at short and Hartman in over at third. 1-0. That one is slap foul. 1-1, a 6-0 Tiger lead here in the top half of the sixth for Addison Maxwell, who's 1 for 3. Struck out, grounded out, singled in that fifth inning. 324, 429 hitter when she leads an inning off. 1-1, fouls it down toward the USF bullpen. 3 of the 5 Tiger leadoff hitters have reached base today.
And that's been a part. We talked about the strategy. They have their leadoff hitters in each inning for Memphis has been better than USF's. USF's only had 1 in comparison.
Ball and 2 strikes. And McGill comes in and she fouls it off the handle.
And that's critical, especially with these two teams. A team like an East Carolina or Houston, maybe that has some more pop in the lineup, it's not as critical if the leadoff runner gets on. But Memphis and USF don't really have a lot of power, especially Memphis. Memphis really needs that leadoff runner to get on to really put the pressure on defense, get on the base pads. And you know, they're one of the best teams in the country when it comes to the base pads and putting pressure on defense.
1-2 is low. Now a 2-2 count on Maxwell.
A really old school philosophy, really, the softball. You know, now more and more teams going with more power, more offense. Memphis kind of back what softball was about 5-10 years ago, using the speed.
Check swing on the outer half. They'll appeal to third, and Brad Newton says did not go around. So a full count. James Connors at first, Brad Newton at third. Leslie Clark behind the plate. There's a high chopper to third. Quickly out of the glove. Nice play over there at third by Hartman, who's just into the game. And there's one out. Lindsey Crowdis today. RBI single in the first. Intentionally walked in the third. A fielder's choice that brought a run in the fifth.
Look at the replay here. Little chopper high there. Nice play. Clean. Quick delivery. Get the first out.
And we talked about the Memphis speed. Nice job by Hartman to get it out of the glove quickly. And that's what's caused some of the errors today on USF is trying to rush throws.
Well, I'm wondering if Coach Erickson, you mentioned all the changes he's made defensively here. I wonder if part of that is just he's not been happy with the defense.
Base hit in the left field. That to be the second hit and the 4th time Crowdis has been on base today.
Now batting for Memphis, number 33.
Double-digit hits for the Tigers. As you mentioned, that's how they play. That's their philosophy. 10 hits, 10 singles, and run the bases.
Vintage Memphis softball. If you haven't seen Memphis softball, this is what they're at their best. And it still works in softball, by the way. You don't have to depend on the power game, okay? This is a great example.
Johnson's 1 for 3.
There's many different ways to win in softball. You don't just have to go for the big inning. You can play and aggressive for the small ball, and that's what Memphis done here. And has really put a lot of pressure on USF defense. As a result, 3 USF errors in this ball game.
0-1. Now it's low. There goes the runner. It'll be a stolen base for Crowdis, who is going on the pitch. That'll be the 33rd stolen base of the season for Lindsey. That's going to be the second of the game, the 122nd of the year for the Tiger team.
What a player. It's just can do everything. And, top 25 Player of the Year finalist in USA softball this year. First ever in Memphis softball history.
1-1, strike taken on the outside.
For a while, led the country in batting average, currently 7th, tied for the lead in hits in the country coming into this week. I mean, what a year, what a career, what a career. I hope that the Memphis softball fans have appreciated what Crowdis has brought to this program.
1-2, up and out. She's done a little bit of everything today. 2 hits, 2 RBI, a walk, a fielder's choice. She scored a run. She's stolen a base. That's the only thing left for her to do today. See if we can get her to get a diving catch somewhere in the outfield, maybe.
Give her some time.
Strike 3, taken on the outside. 2 outs, and here is Lindsay Stickrod, who has 1 for 3, singled and scored an inning ago.
And this game for Crowdis is an example why she was a top 25 player of the year finalist. I mean, she could do it all. As you look at this replay, good strikeout here by Miguel, getting the corner.
Chopper up the middle, and it's going to get through. And here comes Lindsay Crowdis. She'll score for a second time today. It's 7-0 Memphis here in the 6th. RBI single by Stickrod, and Stickrod drives in RBI number 22.
Number 11, Reagan Hazard.
Good piece of hitting right down the middle. I mean, they have had every answer for any USF pitcher that they've brought in. Unbelievable.
Reagan Hadley is 2 for 3 with an RBI single in the 5th, also single in the 4th, lined out to first in the 2nd inning.
Stickrod, the senior, with a big hit. The seniors stepping up for Memphis today in this ball game.
Strike taken on the outside. Stickrod with just 2 stolen bases. I wouldn't be surprised if they can get a good pitch maybe to run on, because we mentioned going for blood an inning ago. If they can find a way to push that 8th run across, and they're looking for 3 outs in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1, fouled in and out of the mitt.
Right, get the runner in scoring position to try to get that 8th run to put the run rule in play. What a 180. I called the series in Tampa. I called the game when it was on the digital network on April 22nd. What a completely different game this has been compared to that one.
Pop up into center field, and here comes Donovan to make the catch to end the inning with the Tigers tack another run on. We have 2 more hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-0 Memphis on the American Digital Network.
Oh, that ball is hit deep, left field, way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially striking Stalls over to first. In time, double play, and that ends the game.
What a performance so far by the Memphis Tigers today. 7-0. They've done it on 11 hits today, 11 singles, and they have put pressure on the defense. And the story today really for Memphis, despite that offense, has been Smith. Smith has been one of the 2 main starters for Memphis, but thinking it would be maybe saving her for the 2nd day of the tournament. But they go with her to open up the tournament. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. After she settled down in the 1st inning, has been dominant.
That was the turning point. She got it. She was in a jam early. USF was trying to respond after Memphis took the 1-0 lead. And maybe if the Bulls respond and scored a run or 2, it's a completely different game. But she shut them down and has been really comfortable from that point. Has made the big pitches when it's mattered. And it looks comfortable out there.
So the bonus is now you got a 7-0 lead. Not that you take anything for granted, because anything can happen. They're not thinking about it. Just for talking points for us, though, is that now Christian Novak, depending on how her back feels tomorrow, you got a fresh Christian Novak, but you also have a very good Molly Smith from today.
I don't think there's any question about that. You save Novak. And remember, and the reason you say that is because Novak shut out Tulsa when they played in Tulsa this year. That was the one win they were able to get. And by the way, the 2 games that Tulsa beat Memphis, they were close games and very low scoring. So that is not an easy matchup for Tulsa. Watson will certainly go for Tulsa, the pitcher of the year. But she's going to have to be on top of her game against these hitters from Memphis, which clearly is playing with a lot of confidence. Probably picking up right from that series win against UConn.
Novak this year with a 2.62 ERA. He was 9-12 in 28 outings and 20 starts. And it was nothing serious today. Just wanted Molly Smith, felt 100%. Wishing Novak just a little stiff, so she should be good to go for tomorrow. That's what they opt to do. Base hit into left field. And so that's back-to-back innings that USF has gotten the leadoff hitter on. But they put themselves in that 7-0 hole.
Well, I think if you're Coach Erickson right now in the Bulls, you want to see what your players, how they react. You're down 7-0. You're going to keep fighting here. This is a proud program that won the regular season championship last year, got to the tournament final, made the NCAA tournament, as you see the hit there. This is a Bulls program that's had a lot of success, making the NCAA tournament 2012, 2014, 2013. They didn't make it in 2015, but they're used to being in the NCAA tournament. They have to make a big run here. They were hoping with maybe a run to the finals, maybe get in as an at-large. Of course, you always want to rather win the tournament title and just not have to worry about it, but certainly a lot of adversity they faced this year with injuries that we've talked about in this game. Right now, they're just trying to get something going and just chip away. You got 2 innings to play with here.
Mulder down 0-1, takes it outside, 1-1. The second game will be at 1 Eastern. Rather 12:30 Eastern, excuse me, ECU and Houston. 1 Eastern's tomorrow, Tulsa versus the winner of this game. That'll be the only game played tomorrow. 1-1, high, the letters down 2-1.
It could set up to be a very big day for Memphis sports in Greenville. The baseball team, they're going to be playing a big series at East Carolina here right next to us. And potentially, if Molly Smith and the Tigers here get 6 more outs, they'll be playing a very big game tomorrow against the defending regular season champion Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
Outside 3-1, there'll be a lot of blue and gray and a lot of purple and gold on this campus tomorrow. 3-1 hitters count to Moeller. This is just outside. I got the strike. Late strike call.
Got that corner there. Last thing you want to do if you're Molly Smith is get some bases on balls. Because you want to keep your pitches down, because Molly might be needed tomorrow. Either she starts or in relief, just because you start the whole game today. So right now at 96 pitches.
3-2, reaches out, pops it up behind home plate, and Hadley makes a catch for the first out. Well, that's another thing that Molly Smith's done very well today outside the first inning. The last 2 innings when the leadoff batter has reached, she's come back to get the next batters. That allowed them to string back-to-back base runners.
And killed any momentum there. And that's a right there pop up, and good read by Hadley, and they get the foul out. Big first out, as you mentioned. Because if you get a couple of runners on in a row, that could start building momentum.
Inside, popped it up. That'll get off into the grandstands, the first base side here at the ECU softball complex.
Cassidy Boyle here hitting for the Bulls. The veteran trying to get something going for the Bulls here late. They've gotten 6 hits, so they've started to get a couple hits here and there, but just like you said, just not been able to maintain the pressure since the first inning.
0-1. There's a fly ball into left, right at Harrell, and there's 2 away. It's a little bit similar to what we saw yesterday, Eric, in Houston and UConn, where Houston put UConn on their heels offensively. Late in the game, UConn started to string some hits together, but at that point, just a little bit too late.
And you wonder if maybe some of the players in USF, maybe they're shell-shocked. Shell-shocked. Think about it. They swept this Memphis team back in April. You know, they felt pretty good. They've had success in postseason. Maybe they thought, hey, this, and all of a sudden, I don't think they've ever would have thought they'd be down 7-0 here with 4 outs probably left in their season.
Swing and fouls it straight back to Hardman.
And you always wonder when it's a matchup, of course, all these teams have played 3 times in the regular season unless there's a rainout. Who has the advantage in a situation? And it's interesting. You look at yesterday, UCF and East Carolina. UCF won 2 out of 3 here in Greenville against the Pirates in the regular season, but it's the Pirates that come out on top in the tournament. And now today, USF swept Memphis in Tampa, but right now Memphis has the upper hand in this game. You wonder if the team that lost the series maybe has an advantage. It'll be interesting, and the reason I bring that up, the next game, Houston and East Carolina. Houston swept East Carolina in the regular season, but that was in Houston. Now East Carolina's playing in their backyard.
And ECU playing with the momentum after the win yesterday. Swing and a miss, up and in. I asked the coach one time about that. I go, do you feel you have the chip on your shoulder going to the conference tournament? Lost a couple of times. Like, no, not really. I'd rather just win all the games. I'd rather win the regular season series rather win in the tournament. 1-2. Smith's 1-2 pitch. Just down and away, 2-2. If they retire Hartman here, it's going to be 9-1-2 due up for USF in the 7th. Memphis has 7, 8, 9 due up in the top half of that inning. Two. Just caught a piece of it. She'll stay alive. Hartman will at 2-2.
Look at Hartman, just a freshman, really part of the future of this Bulls program with Bruni, a freshman. A lot of young talent that had to play more maybe this year than they expected due to the injuries that USF had all year. And I think this is valuable experience for Hartman to get this playing time here in postseason in the conference tournament. You hope it pays off moving forward.
Stays alive at 2-2, and now the infield is going to come in and talk to Molly Smith real quick.
Make sure they get on the same page here.
Wow, and that's also going to give time because that foul ball went right off the basket of the home plate umpire. They had him listed as Chelsea Clark, but Chelsea's over at first base, so that's either James Connors or Brad Newton behind home plate. Two. Swing and a miss. That'll be strikeout number 7 of the day for Molly Smith to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. We are through 6 here in Greenville, and the Tigers lead the Bulls 7-0 on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Number 12, Eric Parker.
Well, it started out as a sunny morning here in Greenville, North Carolina, and the clouds starting to move in. That's why we moved this tournament up a little bit yesterday and are playing early today. So hopefully able to get both of these games in as scheduled, and we'll have that early game tomorrow. Again, that'll be 1 Eastern game. It'll be number 1 Tulsa facing the winner of Memphis and USF. And the Tigers right now, Eric, in command with 1 inning to go, up 7-0.
Well, the big inning was that 5th inning when Memphis scored 5 runs, batted around, and they've hit every USF pitcher. The starter was Hannah Parker. Got pulled for Cheyenne Eggins. They again hit Eggins. They brought back Parker in the 5th inning. She got hit. Wasaki got hit. Now you got McGillen, who's came in since that 6th inning here, trying to just give the Bulls a chance and get them into the bottom of the 7th.
2-1 here on Parker. Swing and a miss. Two and two as McGill waits. High chopper foul over at third base.
Of course, Parker making the all-rookie team this year for the Tigers. Will be one of the players that will be dependent on next year.
Slaps it foul left side. The RBI single to the fifth. A pair of strikeouts. Or excuse me, struck out in the fifth. She had the out at the plate in the fourth that she may have left a little bit early on. We've had one for either team, and of course we had the bunt by Trosclair that hit the bat. Parker hit the ball hard in the second. She lined out. Got her there, struck her out. One away.
Now batting for Memphis, number 23.
Good strikeout there to get the opening out there. But certainly I think Parker, would you agree, is going to be one of those players that will be looked on next year for Memphis with, Crowdis graduating, and Trosclair is one of the players that I think Memphis will look at to lead the offense. He's had a nice freshman year, resulting in being the all-rookie team.
Quickly takes one up and in. She had the RBI hit in the fifth. Pair of strikeouts before that. College sports, you go really quickly from being the freshman out there to all of a sudden your next year, and you're going to be told, hey, you need to be one of our leaders now. 2-0.
Of course, Memphis hoping to maybe extend that not only beyond this week, to not have to worry about that.
2-0, ground ball. Nice diving play by Keene to her right, steps on the bag, and there's two down.
Now batting for Memphis, number 7, Hannah Harrell.
So here is Harrell, who reached twice on errors, and both times, whether it was Keene or Devitt, the error was caused by her speed and trying to rush throws over to first.
And that's what happens when you face a team that has a lot of speed in the lineup and will put pressure on you. It forces a defensive player to rush a throw, maybe thinking about throwing the ball when they don't even have a good grip on the ball. That's where mistakes happen from a defensive standpoint. It's just a lot of pressure for a defense to make against speed.
1-1 count. And the 1-1 swing and a miss for the outer half. Ball and 2 strikes, and again, it'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Bulls at the bottom of the 7th. 1-2, that got her up on the arm. So she'll be hit by a pitch with 2 away. I believe he got her on the wristband they used to relay the signals.
Just look at it right here.
No, he got her on the elbow.
Elbow. And that stings too, in that spot where you get hit.
Trosclair today is 2 for 4.
It's been big. She's been big. She's been getting on base, and Crowdis, and rightfully so, gets so much of the attention. But Trosclair really sets the tone to allow Crowdis to have her the opportunities she does by getting on base. A tremendous 1-2 punch.
There it hits. An attempted bunt hit the bat for an out and then grounded out to short. Slow roller over to second. They'll have to rush a throw, and the ball just came out of the hands of Devitt. Everyone is going to be safe. It's going to be second and third. Looked like it would be kind of a routine play, but when she tried to rush it, it looked like the ball just rolled off the back of the hand.
You just said the magic word, rushed it. You're thinking about throwing the ball before you have a good grip on the ball. Let's look at this replay right here. Trosclair, you know who the hitter is. Trosclair is as good as it gets. And right there, she's trying to throw the ball, but she just can't get a grip on it. She knows she has to hurry, and all of a sudden the ball slips out. It's the pressure mentally that speed will put on a defender in softball. We've seen it today. 4 errors for the Bulls.
Didn't have the grip and almost tried to shot put it over there. And
right, because she's rushing it. She knows she has to hurry to get Trosclair. If that's a random average runner, you don't have to hurry on that play. But you know when you're facing Trosclair and Maxwell and Crowdis that you have to execute defensively quickly to get them out, because you can make a good play and they can still beat it out on a clean play.
1-1, slow roller again. This time a backhand, and again they're rushing. This time the goal makes the play to end the inning. No runs on no hits in air, and 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Tigers on top 7-0 on the American Digital Network.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
And the blue skies have a few clouds moving over, but still sun breaking through. 7-0 Tigers, and they're 3 outs away from advancing to the semifinals.
And you see right there, Houston, nothing like a little game of hacky sack there to get you ready for a semifinal game, huh?
I did not know it was coming back, but I like it.
Oh, it's in softball. This is the it thing to do. Pregame. You see the host team, East Carolina. They tend to chill and just hang out here in the stands here, getting ready for this game to start. But we're 3 outs away from maybe an end of a run here. The American Athletic Conference since 2014, Jeff, has had at least a Sunshine State representative. UCF played in the championship game in 2014 in Houston, losing to Louisville. They won the championship at home in UCF, beating Tulsa on a Samantha McCloskey walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th. And then last year, USF, who won the regular season title, got to the championship game, losing to the host team Tulsa in the title game. So we're 3 outs away from not having a Florida team in the championship game, a first in the American Athletic Conference.
Will feel odd, to say the least, as Molly Smith, 3 outs away from going a complete game on the post game. We will try to catch up with Molly Smith quickly, as well as Natalie Poole. It'll be a quick post game because this game is run a little long, and the next one is scheduled for less than 20 minutes away. And you talk about testing players and coaches in tournaments. We'll test the ground screw here. How quickly can you turn that field around?
No question about it.
And they obviously can do it very well. This surface is an outstanding surface. We mentioned yesterday, if you had to play in a tournament, and I talked to Natalie Poole the other day about it, if you had to play at a location where there could be potential weather, East Carolina is a great place to go because their facility, including the field and the ground screw, impeccable.
In other words, it's a quick turnaround even if you have a delay. It's not like you're going to be drawn out here for a while.
1-2 delay, and that one's going to be outside.
Right now, you're Molly Smith. The finish line is almost there. You just got to get 3 more outs. Again, Memphis has not won a conference tournament game since 2010 when they were a member of Conference USA. They won it in Houston when they upset the 2 seed at the time, Tulsa.
2-2, swing and a miss. That's going to be strikeout number 8.
She's pitching the game of her life. What a game she has pitched. With the stakes so high, right there, challenging the Bulls hitters lay there and getting the strikeout. The veteran now 2 outs away from leading the Tigers to their first ever American Athletic Conference tournament win. We saw that yesterday with Lydia Ritchie of ECU getting her first tournament win after pitching in 3 conference tournament games. And now Molly Smith trying to do that with Memphis here, 2 outs away.
Molly Smith came into the season with a career-high 10 she got against UConn last season. 1-0. There's a strike called on the outer half, 1-1. What a difference the first inning made where she couldn't find the outer portion of the strike zone. Since then, she has found it and really used that to her advantage.
Made some adjustments, found the zone, and got into a rhythm. And that's all you need sometimes.
Bunt will spin foul over at third base.
And of course, Wyckoff could be her final at-bat of her career. We don't know what the future will look like for the Bulls as far as their postseason aspirations. Could be a long shot in the NCAA with a loss here today. What a career for Wyckoff. Part of that regular season championship team last year. Couple of 3 NCAA tournaments.
1-2 in the dirt.
2 NCAA tournament actually appearances for Wyckoff during a career. Regular season championship last year. First team all conference this year.
Two now from Smith. Reaches out, pokes it to the left. They had her played in, and Harrell makes the catch. Good scouting right there.
Everything has just been working out well for Memphis. You mentioned the clouds, blue clouds, some blue skies earlier. It's kind of a blue type of day there for Memphis. The baby blue colors, right there, you've said it. They had her scouted perfectly, playing in. And they have shut down Wyckoff today.
Tigers really usually wear that darker blue. Baseball and softball been using that alternate baby blue for, I guess, about the past 5 to 6 years. Players really enjoy it and feel good you play good. That's worked out today as Bruni trying to keep the season alive here, or Yancey, trying to keep the season alive. Now Yancey in there, now take it high. 1-1.
And I mentioned USF and UCF, the excellence they've had in the American Athletic Conference. They'll be back. Both of these teams, UCF and USF, a lot of young players, so they'll be contenders again. So this year, none of them will be representing, looks like, the championship game, but that might be the exception to the rule.
1-1, and she went around, and now we're down to the last strike.
And certainly for USF, a lot of injuries, a lot of adversity they had to deal with this year. To even get to the point where they're at, I think, has been certainly a remarkable job by Coach Erickson and his staff.
1-2. Fouls it off to the left side.
But what a job Natalie Poole and her staff has done in preparation for this game. They were prepared from the get-go, getting that first run in the first inning. And you mentioned once Molly Smith got out of that jam in the bottom of the first, just an under-controlled team all day.
It may have been more of a momentum swing when she got out of that bases loaded jam with 1 out than just getting that run in the first. I think that's really where she settled in. 1-2. Fouled it off again, same spot.
And you have to wonder, and they won't admit it, but getting that conference tournament win, it's like that monkey off your back, right? You got to believe they will be even looser if they get this one out playing tomorrow.
They have a chance at the regular season champ tomorrow. 1-2. Reaches out. Flies it over to first. Stick Rod's got it, and that will end the game as the Tigers will win here in the quarterfinals. Behind a complete game today from Molly Smith, absolutely dominating. 7 innings, scattered 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks. Ends up officially listed at 9 strikeouts today. And just an absolute dominant performance today.
A spectacular performance by Molly Smith. Gets the ball from Natalie Poole and got out of that first inning jam, and from that point on dominated this Bulls offense. And then that big 5-run 5th inning for the Memphis offense was the backbreaker, as it turns out, causing havoc, putting pressure on the USF's defense. 4 errors. Lindsey Crowdis and Trosclair, those seniors, get a taste of a postseason win. How about that? And congrats to them and Natalie Poole for getting a win in the postseason and now advancing to the semifinal, where they're going to take on a team in Tulsa they've beaten and they know they've competed with. It's going to be a battle tomorrow.
Well, again, a complete game by Molly Smith. She moves to 11-12. She is down on the field with Haley out.
Yeah, I'm joined by the Memphis pitcher, Molly Smith. Molly, what a performance from you today. Now, last time out, your team against USF, you guys were swept in that series. What was different for you all today?
Just being aggressive and coming out in the first inning and just coming out as a team and playing for each other.
You got the start for your team today. How did you mentally prepare for this game going after your first conference tournament win as a program?
I just knew that I had to hit my spots and my D was going to take care of the rest.
Headed to the semifinal tomorrow, taking on the regular season champs Tulsa. How do you get ready for tomorrow?
Just mentally prepare and know that we have to come out and we got to get ahead early and we got to play together.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck tomorrow. Jeff will be joined by the head coach, Natalie Poole, in just a second.
Thank you very much, Haley. As Natalie Poole standing by again, not only a complete game by Molly Smith, the Tiger offense, 12 hits, a pair of stolen bases, en route to 7 runs. Back downstairs to Haley out.
I'm now joined by the head coach, Natalie Poole. Coach, congratulations on this win. Your first American Conference tournament win for your program. How does it feel to finally get that one off of your shoulders?
Feels tremendous. You know, we've been in most of those games whenever we've played them, and they've been some hard games, some very equal matchups, and so it's a blessing. I'm truly thankful. I'm proud of these girls for their hard work and for showing up and being able to come through.
Swept by USF just a few weeks ago in April. What was different today?
For us, we really focused on making sure that we could get past Hannah Parker because she gave us a really tough time. After that, I felt like we could be on time for the other pitchers and make those adjustments, but that was our goal. So we've been really focused on that. We knew we needed to come out and pitch well. Molly didn't have a great performance against them the last time around. We went with her. We feel like she's doing a good job right now, and I'm really proud of her performance.
7 runs on the board for your offense today. You have the co-player of the year in Lindsey Crowdis on your side, a couple RBIs for her. What were you most impressed with her today?
A lot of times whenever those people get the player of the year, they come in with a lot of pressure on their back to perform, to back that up. And I've seen a lot of people show up at the tournament and not be able to do anything. And so I'm really proud of her. She just stays steady. This game means the world to her, and so she's playing like it right now.
And lastly, taking on the regular season champs tomorrow, dropped 2 of 3 from them earlier in the season. What do you all need to do differently tomorrow to keep the season alive and stay in Greenville a couple extra days?
We've got to be able to score runs off Emily Watson because we know that's who we're going to face. On the other side of the ball, I think we'll show up on defense. We've got to pitch well to be able to get their hitters. We've got to pitch and play defense to be in the game, and then we've got to be able to push across a couple runs to be able to beat them.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Haley. Again, the Memphis Tigers advance with a 7-0 win today over USF. They play number 1 Tulsa tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 12 Central. Coming up momentarily will be the 2-seed Houston facing the number 6 seed East Carolina. That will be here pretty quickly, so stay tuned here in Greenville. That'll wrap things up for my broadcast partner, Eric Lopez and Haley Out, and I'm Jeff Rywald. Thanks for joining us today on the American Digital Network.